What's going on, everyone? It's Tay, aka Slay, and I want to share some fun memories with you today. If you're new here, you may not know, I host a Friday Night Live, my weekly live stream here on YouTube, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I do it to keep connected with you all, to help myself stay sane, and really just to have a good time. Last week was incredibly fun. It was one of the most fun lives I've had since I started doing them. And in that live stream, one of my followers asked what the best piece of advice I ever received was, and I completely blanked. It just would not come to me. I don't even remember what I said. The live is up, so if you want to know what I said, it's there. Go ahead and check it out. But as I was moving about my weekend, not even really thinking about the live stream or the question, the answer came to me. And I remembered my former boss and a conversation that we had. And I want to share this with you because it just might help somebody who's watching. So, I was at my last job for over a decade, was only promoted once in that time. I was I was at that job for 6.5 years when I finally moved from associate 1 to associate 2. Whew. And if you want to know more about my trials and tribulations at my last job, let me know down below. I will give you the tea. But for all intents and purposes, I'm going to keep it streamlined here. So, my second manager, because my first manager had left the company to pursue her higher education, then our manager became officially our manager. She moved from our department to another department, and then Steve, my favorite boss, I'm not even gonna hide it, he was my favorite boss, became my boss. He had been with the company for quite some time before he ascended the ladder and became an assistant vice president. He deserved more because he put in that work, in my humble opinion. And Steve was an awesome person. He was a geek like me. Like, I called him my Captain America because he was a Brooklyn boy and he had Captain America memorabilia all about his desk. He knew that I was a cosplayer. He asked me about upcoming cons. When Avengers Infinity War came out and we knew that we had both seen it, we had a 90-minute conversation about the movie. I got to geek out at work. It was the best day ever. I adored Steve. He was funny. Like, after my breakup, he offered to go to where my ex was and break his kneecaps. Now, Steve was Italian, and I'm not trying to perpetuate stereotypes, but he was like, do you need me to go break his kneecaps? And he would always talk about his family and his family ties. I was like, Steve, I don't need you calling me, someone from the old country. Like, we don't, it's not that deep. It's really not that deep. But I appreciated that he cared about me so much that he wanted to cause my ex bodily harm. Anyway, needless to say, Steve was the man. I miss him so much. But time came, like when he left, he didn't even want to tell me. Because earlier in the year, I got so fed up, I was like, you know what, I quit. And he looked at me, he was like, no, you can't do that. Absolutely not. No. I can't deal with it. Like, he was the type of person that paid attention. Like, I was really down right after the breakup happened, and he was like, what's going on? You're not your normal bubbly self. Like, he paid attention to me that way. And I was like, oh, and then I told him, and that's when he made the joke about the kneecaps. But I was like, no, I can't do it anymore. I quit. And we made a pact that one could not leave without the other. I was like, you know what? How about if one of us puts in their notice, the other one has to put in their notice right after? He was like, yeah, that works. That's exactly what we're going to do. He ended up leaving a year before I did. And he didn't want to tell me. He was like, I had to take it. They gave me exactly what I wanted. And, and I started crying because I adored this man so much. And he was like, see, don't cry. And he started crying. He's just like, no, we can't. This is why I didn't want to tell you yet. Oh my, I feel so bad. Like, he felt bad that he was leaving me. It hurt. It really hurt. His last day, like, I think it's still up on my Facebook somewhere. The picture that I took when he left the office, the tears just rolling down my face. I know it seems like it's over the top, but that's how much I cared about this dude. Like, after my breakup, I would hear Steve talk about his wife. Like, we had worked together so long, like, I was in the office when he was asking women who had recently gotten married to help him pick his engagement ring. He was asking, like, how did your now husbands do this? Because I don't want to screw this up. And I was like, he's actually putting thought into this. Oh my God. And then when she became his wife and he would talk about her, it would make you swoon. Like, his wife was, I mean, we were all at that age where everybody in our lives were getting married. So it seems like you had to go to a wedding every other weekend. And so his wife was going to a bachelorette party. And so all the younger guys in the office were like, yeah, bachelor weekend, you're going to be like, you get to have the whole house to yourself. And Steve was like, yeah, I mean, I enjoy my alone time, but, you know, I miss my wife when she's gone. I'm like, oh. And I remember he was talking to somebody else about his wife, and he said the sentence that really, oh, it's my favorite memory of Steve, aside from the one I'm going to tell you about, where he said, my wife is my queen, I have to take care of her. Where do I find one of them? But anyway, I tell you all of that to set up the kind of man Steve was. So one day I'm sitting at my desk, just incredibly discouraged, just fed up with all of it. And I was like, what is the point of me even trying? I was like, Steve, what's the point? I'm never going to get any recognition. I'm never going to get promoted. They're not giving out raises out here. Like, what is the point of me giving my all to any of this? What is the point of me going above and beyond for these people? And he said, I'm going to tell you what my grandfather told me. He said, at the end of the day, you have to be proud of the work that you do. You have to be able to look yourself in the mirror when you go to bed at night and be proud of the person you see. You need to do your best for you. Nobody can take away the fact that you gave your best. You might not get recognized for it, but you know in your heart you did your best, and you can be proud of that. And that's what matters. As long as you are proud of you, that's all you need. And I was so touched by that. Whew, I'm getting a little verklempt as I say it now, because just the way he said it, because I could feel that old Italian grandfather coming through him. And he was like, that's just it. You have to be proud of you. And if you are not putting out work then you can be proud of, that's where you fail. That's the only time you fail. And I was like, yeah. I actually felt my eyes water. I'm like, you're right, Steve. I should try harder. I should do this for me. I'm what matters. I could laugh about it now, but it meant so much to me in that moment, because I think at that time I had been there for exactly 10 years. And like I said, I can give you the tea on how I was never promoted except for that one time, and how a lot of my other requests were completely ignored. But, you know, Steve inspired me that day, and I carry that advice with me every day. So that is the best piece of advice I've ever received, and that's the advice I want to pass on to you. Do your best, and do it for you. Don't do it for the recognition. Don't do it for the cash, the attention, the little niceties, the pats on the back. Do it so that you can be proud of you. When you lay your head on your pillow at night, you can say, I did my best, and I'm proud of the effort that I put in today. And that's really one of many ways to make sure that you're living your best life. from that day on, that's how I lived. And I truly believe that's how I got to where I am today. So maybe just give it a shot. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe, all of those good things. I know there are a million videos you could have watched today. I humbly thank you for coming to Slay. Bye, guys.